The Republic Act number 10121 shall be known as the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010. It is an act strengthening the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Framework and institutionalizing the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Plan, appropriating the rules to prescribe the manner and preparation guidelines of the PDRRM Act of 2010. It will provide for the development of policies and plan and for the application of actions and measures to the DRRM for a lesser casualties. These are applied to both government and citizen.
The importance to know and understand the Republic Act number 10121 is every people may have knowledge about being vulnerable in the disaster risk that will affect their daily life. In understanding the Republic Act number 10121, people must adopt disaster risk reduction and management approach that is holistic, integrated, and proactive in lessening the environment impacts of disaster, including climate change. This law will provide maximum care, assistance, and services to individuals and families affected by disasters, implement emergencies rehabilitation projects to lessen the impact of disaster, and facilitate resumption of normal social and economic activities.
Will take the benefit of this law are both the government of one's country and its citizens to be prepared for a disaster, natural such as typhoon, earthquake, volcanic eruption, drought, human include such as fire, industrial accident, oil spill, armed conflict.
With the help of PDRRM, the disaster risk reduction management damage losses can be minimized loss like lives and structure. This disaster not only caused death but also huge financial loss for the country.
The National Disaster Risk Management Plan is being formulated, developed, and implemented as the master plan that will provide the strategies, organization, task of concerned agencies and local government units, and other guidelines in dealing with disaster or emergencies. Through this plan, a coherent, integrated, efficient, and responsive disaster risk management at all levels will hopefully be achieved. And the RRMC will be in charge of preparation before the disaster strikes and when it strikes and leaves.
According to the World Risk Index 2014, Philippines is among the top 4 most disaster-prone countries in the world. Philippines is also located at the typhoon belt in Pacific, which make it vulnerable to typhoons. There are averagely 20 to 30 typhoons recorded that arrive in the Philippines every year. Philippines is also vulnerable to earthquakes. For the past 400 years, there are not more than 90 destructive earthquakes that arrive or that occur in the Philippines. First are the people and its life and health. Second, facilities and services such as houses, roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals. Third is the livelihoods such as work, crops, livestock, and livelihood materials. And last is the environment.
There are 4 thematic areas to have a safer community. First is disaster preparedness. It is set of an action to enhance the ability of the community and government to respond from a disaster. Second is disaster prevention and mitigation, which is to prevent loss and avoid hazards. Disaster response, which is to ensure proper response from after a disaster by conducting rescue operations and distributing relief goods. And lastly is the disaster recovery and rehabilitation, which is to prevent loss and restore damages. That is why it is valid to know the Republic Act number 10121 because it teaches us to be prepared, safer, adaptive, and resilient country in spite of catastrophes struck upon us.
According to World Risk Index of 2014, Philippines is at the 4th spot among the disaster-prone countries in the world. Philippines lies along the typhoon belt. Being situated in it, our country is visited by an average of 20 typhoons every year. Number 2. Philippines lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Being situated in it makes it vulnerable to frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruption. Number 3 is coastal homes.
there are a lot of people living near coastal areas, and they are at risk of flooding from storm surges. Number 4 is deforestation. Deforestation has been blamed for soil erosion and flooding. And then lastly is poverty and underdevelopment. The impact of damage to the poor can cause loss of life and damage.
Makes us vulnerable to this disaster. There are 7 reasons why we are vulnerable to disasters. First is attitude of helplessness, dependence and indifference. Second, lack of knowledge and skills, unpreparedness and protective measures. Third, social inequity and poverty. Fourth is conflict in the community. Fifth is lack of education. Sixth is unsafe housing design and construction. And 7 is lack of settlements